Hello, my name is Kevin Baker. I'm a director of digital forensics at Marcum Technology. Thank you for joining me for this short video on the dark web. I also want to thank everyone that watched the last video on passwords and had wonderful feedback and comments. I will address the most common question I got though, which had nothing to do with passwords, and that is, yes, that is a pencil sharpener on the wall. My kids are 15 and 6, and that pencil sharpener actually gets a lot of use. But to continue on, today I'd like to talk about the dark web and maybe demystify some of the things that you've heard and give you a better understanding and actually show you what the dark web looks like. So the dark web is an encrypted, anonymous, and uncensored network that runs on top of the internet. There's specialized software that's used to connect to that network. Most commonly, people use what's called the Tor browser or the Onion router. And it's a web browser just like Internet Explorer, Firefox, or Chrome, and it deals with all the back-end encryption connecting to the network. Now, there are good things about the dark web. I know everyone has heard a lot of the bad things that come out of a encrypted, anonymous, and uncensored network, but there are good things. And the original intention was actually a positive area that people could freely exchange information. And you think about that, that is one thing it is used for today. There are repressive governments around the world that prevent their citizens from communicating freely. And the dark web is one place where these individuals can share ideas and information that might be contrary to what their government regulates. We appreciate a lot of freedoms in the United States, and many countries around the world take these freedoms for granted, but that isn't universally the case across the globe. The dark web, from a technological standpoint, is also rather sophisticated. It's resilient to attack, and it's distributed in a way that allows many individuals to connect to it and keep the network running. Now, the bad, which you've probably heard about, there are a lot of illegal activities that happen on the dark web. A lot of illegal goods and services are for sale or traded or shared on the dark web. And by its very nature, because it's encrypted, anonymous, and uncensored, it's very hard to investigate, search, or infiltrate information that's contained on the dark web. So, as I mentioned, the Tor browser, which is the Onion router, is the way most people connect to the dark web, and it's just a web browser. It was originally developed by the U.S. Naval Research Lab, and again, the idea behind this was to have a way for people that were restricted in the way they could communicate, give them access in an anonymous, encrypted way to exchange information. The network is run by users that run nodes. There's no cost to running the network or to accessing the network. And all the traffic is secured using very strong encryption. There's no way to monitor or intercept the traffic. I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, but the Tor network is very secure by almost any standard. So let me show you what Tor actually looks like and show you what the dark web is. Now, I'll start with the bad. This is a dark web marketplace. And as you'll see here, there is all kinds of information for sale. Generally, exchanges are made using cryptocurrency. That's the payment method. But here you could buy credit card information. You could buy compromised accounts, usernames and passwords. There's also on all these darknet markets, well, for most of them, there's drugs and other illicit goods for sale. The governments around the world have focused on trying to shut these down, but there are hundreds of them, and once one gets shut down, another one crops up. And you can think about all these markets are really like eBay. There's listings for goods or services for sale. You have an account, you buy them, you pay generally in cryptocurrency, and then the goods or services are sent to you. The dark web is a lot more than just the marketplaces, though. There's secure email services contained on the dark web. This is a place where people that, again, are repressed in certain ways can't communicate. Unfortunately, it's also a place that criminals can't securely communicate. There are forums, just like Reddit, but on the dark web, where users exchange various information and ideas. Again, some of that is good, and a lot of it, unfortunately, has to do with cybercrime and criminal organizations. But you may be surprised that there is also other kind of common things on the dark web. BBC, for example, is on the dark web. Again, talking about getting information to people that are in repressed areas where they can't freely access the information we take for granted. Another example, New York Times is also on the dark web. So it is not just that people use the dark web to sell stolen information and hacking tools or drugs or other illicit goods. The dark web is also used for legitimate purposes, and it does have value there. Anyway, I hope that has answered some of your questions and you have a better understanding of what the dark web is. If you have any additional questions or comments, please let me know. And again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video.